Scott, this week I'm pretty excited, man. We got to check out a pretty cool game, early preview, let's just say that right now, called The Rustler, a top-down, throw-it-back, old-school GTA style game, but in medieval times.
Yes.
What did you think?
Oh, this is what a surprise. This is somewhat of a mix-up because there's a lot of these urban elements in this top-down medieval
music,
combat
oh, man.
game. The music's a big standout, and it's hard to say that this game is only in alpha build. So it's having a pretty successful Kickstarter campaign. They've blown through their main target. They've set now some further down the road targets, and there's a lot more content coming to this game, so pay attention to our full review soon of The Rustler. So far, what was your first take of this game?
Well, let's just get it this way. So when you jump into this game, you start it up, just the menu music is like this, this little harp playing R&B hip hop tunes, and it throws you off at first. You're like, what am I getting into? So when you first jump in, yes, I get that very reminiscent GTA 2 camera angle, the top down from the city look. I mean, for me, I loved it because I used to play this game kind of LAN hooked up Grand Theft Auto with my buddies on computers when I was, 10 years old. Like games you shouldn't be playing at that age, but this just brought me back to that immediately. And you get your main character, who happens to be a bit of a degenerate. I guess that's probably the nicest way to put it. And he wakes up after what I would assume is a stupor of some kind, and he needs to get to work because he's late. And it kind of brings you through a bit of the base story at the beginning and kind of gets you a feel for the controls, which I'm going to say right at the beginning, because this is alpha build, I was very impressed that this has full controller support. So I've played with both, and I know you stuck with mouse and keyboard. I actually switched over to the controller, and I really enjoyed myself. I thought they did a really good job at bringing what it would normally be mostly just PC controls with this game to a controller that it makes sense. The controls felt like almost like it was more comfortable than using my mouse and keyboard, especially when it came to looking around and navigating. I found with the keyboard, if you're not active with your mouse, you find yourself walking in the wrong direction while looking in another direction. You know what I mean? And that all comes with, just practice and playing with the mouse and keyboard. So like I said, I've said it many times, I'm pretty pedestrian with it, but I did give it a shot first to see. And I played through the first chunk of this game on keyboard and mouse, and I was like, well, let's try with the controller. And I really did enjoy it. I thought they did a really good job. And just this game has all those Grand Theft Auto feels. And I don't want to keep saying that because I know this game stands on its own, and it is, but it does share a lot of the similar kind of features. You know what I mean? Like if you ever played those types of games, then you kind of know, or it feels, relatable, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, you have a quick save spot. You take your missions from a couple different spots on the map. You have only so many different weapon slots. You ride a horse, but you could lose that. It's very tied to the Grand Theft Auto formula of kind of a not serious attempt at the game. And I love I love the narrative addition to this. I love all the different characters, and all their dialogue really lends itself to a not serious, fun take on the game. You're not supposed to be super hardcore into it, and it is difficult, but it gives you a lot to keep coming back for, and it kind of gives you this sandbox to mess around in. One of the things everybody does in Grand Theft Auto, you just start slaying in a town. and they made that make sense in this game. You can get a shield, you can get an armor, you can get stuff around the map to kind of upgrade yourself in the ways that the early Grand Theft Auto games would do. I really liked that they have the controller support, because a lot of the difficulty was from aiming and moving. That's the twin stick thing. And also the vehicles. The vehicle turning and navigating is so strange. I'm not sure how it works out in the controller.
It's not as clean as you want it to be, but I will say it was easier than mouse and keyboard, and that was a big reason I switched over, because I'm like, man, I suck at riding a horse and shooting a crossbow in this game. Is there an easier way to do this? And that's when I found they had controller support.
Yeah, I think looking at some of the feedback to this game, a lot of people are thinking that they want the WASD controllers to just be relevant or relative to the screen.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're relative to your character or your horse. So when you're moving forward, it's not really forward. It's forward in relation to the horse. That can get really kind of weird for some people. So
yeah, it kind of tosses you in a kind of a weird spot, right? It's a little difficult sometimes when you're trying to get a handle for a new game, right? So I mean, when the controls start to throw you off a little bit, it is a little, I don't know, uneasy. It's unsettling, I guess. But like you said, there are people that are voicing their opinions, and this is an alpha build, and I think we're both more impressed with the state of the game where it is currently than I think we would probably have more things to say slander about this game, because I think we both really did enjoy ourselves playing this one. There was a lot of really fun elements. The art style and graphics overall weren't anything like amazing to write home about, but there was more detail in the towns than I actually thought there was going to be. In the castle area, that whole town and environment there was really well done, I thought. There's people and horses and buggies going around everywhere, so it wasn't like some empty map. It was more than populated. It did feel kind of like the hustle and bustle of a real city. So in that sense, I think they've done a good job at looking at some of the smaller details in a game like this that make it stand out, nowadays, opposed to being like, well, why wouldn't I just go back and play a game similar to this that was made 15 years ago? Why is this game better? And I honestly think they've done a really good job at bringing it into, a new era.
Yeah, exactly. It's that medieval slant to it, but it's still silly, and it still makes you laugh, and it's still that kind of Grand Theft Auto type writing. It's quite a juxtapose. It's nice.
Well, Scott, I think we've had a blast playing this game. I know we're looking forward to the full release, but as it stands right now, do you think you could recommend this one for people to check out?
Definitely. Considering the price point and that they're on a Kickstarter campaign, now's the time to get in on this one, I think. They've got a pretty good product here, and you're going to have a lot of fun with it, even if it's not 100% there. There's some glitches, but overall, it's a pretty good experience. I recommend.
You know what? I'm right there with you. I love jumping back into this style of game, but with this kind of, skin on it, this medieval skin. They've done a good job. I love the controller support, and I'm really looking forward to what changes they make come a full release for this game. I think there's some serious potential to have a really fun game here. So you know what? I got to recommend this one too. Even in its alpha build state, Rustler manages to bring a new spin to an old classic. With lots of great music and characters, along with full controller support, we're definitely looking forward to this one's full release. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.